So first off, let me start this video saying fuck ICE, and if you want to be down with ICE, fuck you too. I'm from Minnesota, and it's absolutely heartbreaking to see what's taking place in my backyard. Let's talk some hoops now. So last night at the United Center, Bulls versus Celtics, Derrick Rose night, you could feel the energy in the building. Chicago Bulls get a big win. They moved to 23-22 on the year. First time in a long time they've been over 500 this late into a season. And it's caused me to change my rhetoric on the team. If you guys have been following me, basically since the Miami Heat whooped their ass in the play-in game last year, I've been begging the Chicago Bulls to tank, especially with this draft class, man. The top 5 in this draft class is going to be special. You're getting a franchise player, but the reality is the Chicago Bulls, they're not even in a position to tank anymore. There's no way that the Milwaukee Bucks or the Charlotte Hornets are catching them. Those are the 11 and the 12 seeds right now. The Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis, he's done for the year, guys. He said he's out 4 to 6 weeks with that calf strain. Reality is, man, if he comes back 6 weeks from now, the Bucks, they're going to be even further down the standings. No chance they bring him back. His season's over. The Charlotte Hornets, I really like them. They're fun to watch. There's a lot of talent there. They're a year away. Next year, they're going to be a play-in team, maybe even a playoff team. This year, they're not quite there yet. So the Chicago Bulls, they are firmly in that play-in spot. They're going to finish 8th, 9th, 10th, something like that. They're not going to get into the top 6. Anybody who thinks they're going to get into the top 6, you're crazy. I look at the standings. I look at a team like the Orlando Magic. They're going to be heard from this year. They're going to go on a run. Their 5-man lineup of Desmond Bane, Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero, and Wendell Carter Jr., top 5 in net rating in terms of 5-man lineups. They just haven't played together enough yet this year because of injuries. So when they get all those guys back, when they're able to play a sustained stretch together, they're going to go on a run. They're going to get in the top 6. The Cleveland Cavaliers, there's so much talent on that roster. You have to think they're going to get into the top 6. So the Bulls, they're not going to get into the top 6. They're going to be in the play-in tournament. And I'm just going to accept it. I'm just going to vibe with it. I'm just going to accept it. We're going to have some fun wins like last night against the Boston Celtics. Wins where Kevin Huerter hits a game winner, a guy who hasn't been able to hit a 3 to save his life all season long. He's shooting like 29% this year from 3, hits a game-winning 3. Jalen Smith, he has a huge game. Patrick Williams hit some shots. Like, it's shit like this where Josh Giddey, he shot 16%. He had 5 turnovers last night. Usually, that's going to lead to a loss for the Chicago Bulls, which would further my pro-tanking agenda. But once again, role players come through for the Chicago Bulls. Their depth pays off. So my tanking agenda is over. I'm supporting this team going forward. I'm cheering for wins. I'm saying fuck it. Let's get to the play-in tournament. Let's try to win the play-in tournament. Let's see what happens. So you guys won't hear any negativity from me going forward on the Chicago Bulls. You won't hear any pro-tanking agendas. You're just going to see me riding along, going along with the vibes. I'm just along for the ride right now. So as far as Derrick Rose night goes, huge success. It was fun as hell to watch. It was great to relive some of those memories. Loved hearing Joakim Noah on the mic, Taj Gibson on the mic, Tom Thibodeau on the mic. Derrick Rose's speech was emotional. Just an emotional night all the way around. It was cool to see how many former players came out and supported him. You had Ben Gordon, you had Tyrese Thomas, Richard Hamilton, Brad Miller, Aaron Gray, obviously all the guys I mentioned before, Keith Bogans, like everybody came through. The only Bulls that didn't come through were Jimmy Butler. He tore his ACL like 4 days ago. Don't expect him to be there. Carlos Boozer, his son, was putting on a show at Duke. He was at that game instead. Can't fault him for that. So it was cool to see how many people showed up and rode for Derrick Rose. And man, there's never going to be a player like Derrick Rose again. I got a little emotional last night thinking about like how invested I was in Derrick Rose's career and how I'm just at a point in my life right now where I'm never going to be that invested in an athlete's career again. It's just that's how life works. Me and Derrick, we're the same age. So part of the mystique of Derrick Rose was being the same age as him. I can remember my freshman year in college watching him and being like, how the fuck are me and this guy the same age? I can remember watching that Celtics series and I'm struggling with finals at the time. Meanwhile, this guy, he's lighting up the championship Boston Celtics. And it was almost like growing with him in a sense. Like every major milestone of his career coincided with a major milestone in my own life. So and you guys know how it is when you're in your young 20s, there's nothing more important than your favorite sports team. You're able to kind of ride or die with that team. And then you grow up, you get more life responsibilities, and it stops being as ride or die. It loses some of that mystique. So it's sad, but at the same time, it was cool to see him finally get his due and just see how much the city of Chicago loves him, the franchise loves him, and how much love he gives back to that community. So shout out Derrick Rose, man. You're a one of one. There's never going to be another player like you again.